start, I just wanna say, initially, I was planning on doing just recordings, but I was too scared to do it, to read these stories by myself. Right now, I'm not on my desk where I usually record. I'm huddled up inside a blanket, and I'm on my bed. I don't like reading or watching horror when I'm alone, and especially when it's nighttime. And it's nighttime now, but it's fun, entertaining, so I'll do it for you. The first story is titled The Lullaby. I have been practicing this song for you all week. I know you can't sleep without it, even though you never told me in words. That's alright. I can hear the way you breathe when you're afraid. I know when you need me. So I sit right here at the edge of your bed, and I hum softly, just like a mother would. Isn't it nice? The way the sound of my humming fills the dark. You always close your eyes quicker when I sing. It makes me so happy watching you pretend you don't hear me. I lean closer with every verse. You always hold your breath when I get near your ear, but I don't mind. I know you're just shy. Tonight, I added new words to the song. I think you like them. lie so still when I brush the hair away from your forehead. Oh, don't open your eyes now. If you see me, the song won't work anymore. Just let me sing. Let me stay. And when you wake up in the morning, don't be frightened by the window being open. It's only because I needed the night air while I watched you sleep. Now hush, hush, little one. The song isn't finished yet. This one is titled The Man in the Parking Garage. I always park on the third floor of the garage near my office. It's usually quiet there at night, and I like avoiding the crowd. But last week, as I was walking to my car, I noticed a man standing perfectly still at the far end. His back was to me, and he was facing the concrete wall. At first, I thought he was just drunk, but he didn't move. Not even when I dropped my keys. I tried to shake it off and walked faster to my car. The sound of my shoes echoed, and then so did his. He started walking in step with me, but he's still facing the wall. I don't know how to explain it. His feet moved with mine, but his head never turned. When I finally looked back and slammed the door shut, I looked back. The man was gone. But every night since, when I bumped into that same spot, I saw wet footprints leading from the far wall straight to where I parked. This next story is titled The Empty Apartment. I moved into this building 3 months ago. It's not fancy, but the rent's cheap, and the neighbors keep to themselves. At least, most of them do. Directly across the hall is Unit 48. It looks occupied. Curtains are drawn. Mail is slipping through the slot. And there's a welcome mat that always has new footprints in front of it. But I've never actually seen the person who lives there. Once or twice, I thought I heard someone inside. A TV faintly playing at weird hours. Footsteps pacing in the early morning. But when I mentioned it to the landlord, he frowned and told me that unit's been empty since last year. Thinking it was a mistake, but the next night, as I was coming up the stairs, I heard the lock in 48 turning. I froze, staring at the dark gap. No light inside, no sound. But I knew someone was watching me. After a few seconds, the door closed again. When I tried the handle the next day, it was bolted shut, and yet every night since, I heard the pacing, the creak of the floorboards, the flicker of the TV behind the wall. And last night, when I suddenly woke up at 3 a.m., I realized the sound wasn't coming from across the hall anymore. It was coming from inside my own apartment. The next story, it's titled The Friend Under the Bed. I'm glad you're finally lying down. You always look so tired after a long day. Don't worry. Shh. I'll keep you company until you fall asleep. I know the spot under your bed isn't very comfortable, but I don't mind. It's cozy actually. I can hear your heartbeat through the mattress. Steady and calm. Sometimes I whisper to you from down here, but you never answer. That's okay. I know you're listening. I hear the way your breath stops and catches when I say your name. Tonight, I wanna be closer. I want to reach one hand up through the gap between your mattress and the blanket just to brush the edge of your arm. You always turn the wall when you sleep. It's sweet, like you're giving me permission to climb out without you noticing. I'll wait a little longer until your breathing slows, until I know you're asleep, and then, as I always do, I'll crawl out quietly and lie right beside you. I promise you won't even feel the bed sink. You'll just drift deeper into sleep while I watch over you. And when you dream, don't be surprised if you feel me whispering there too. You see, I've been practicing the words I'll finally say out loud one day. I love you. This one is titled The Man in the Elevator Camera. My apartment building has one of those old elevators with a shaky cage and a security camera that streams to the lobby. Most people ignore it, but I always check the little TV screen before stepping in. You know, just in case someone's already inside. A few weeks ago, I noticed a man standing in the corner of the elevator. He was facing the wall, completely still. If I have to be honest, his clothes looked, I don't know, weird. They looked, well, they looked too out of date. Like something from the 70s. Even their quality. The fabric looked worn. He was wearing a white colored shirt and dark slacks. I thought maybe he was drunk or high. And that's just not something that I want to deal with. So I decided to wait for the next ride. But when the elevator reached the lobby and the doors opened, it was empty. It happened again. 2 nights later. The same man, wearing the same clothes, in the same position. The security feed showed him there. He was there. The cameras can't lie. And my eyes can't just make this up. But, oh my, when the elevator opened its doors once more, it was still empty. I finally asked the night guard about it. He looked at me for a long time before saying, "Don't take the elevator after midnight. Use the stairs." He said that, and that was the most serious I've ever seen and heard him. Now, whenever I come home late, even though I want to stop, I can't help watching the screen. Most nights, it's fine. But last night, when I glanced at the monitor, the man wasn't facing the wall anymore. He was staring directly at me into the camera. I'm going to be like transparent here. I'm scared. If my voice sounds scared while I'm reading some books, that is that's 60% not acting. I am genuinely terrified, and I genuinely have goosebumps. I'm completely alone in my apartment. There is no one here with me, and it's 1 a.m. It's super quiet, and I'm so scared. The reason I did a live stream for this content is because I would not be able to finish this if I were recording this normally, because I would feel too alone. So, if you're watching, please do leave a chat. Thank you, Ethan, for reading me. If I'm in the middle of reading a story, I most likely won't be able to respond to you by voice, but I see your chat and I'll do my best to reply to you on time through chat as well. Let's continue. This next one is titled The Whisper in the Closet. I love sitting in your room at night, tucked right inside your closet. You know why? Your clothes are surrounding me. They have your scent. And I can see the outline of your body under your blanket. I can hear the soft rhythm of your breathing. Sometimes I'm sorry, but I can't help myself. I let the door creak open. Don't worry, it's just a crack. Just enough to watch you shift in your sleep. You always turn over like you know I'm there, and it just makes me smile. Tonight, I think I'll be braver. I'll whisper your name like this, softly, just to see if you react to it. If you do, I'll hide again, I promise. But if you don't, care for you. That's why I'll be as quiet as a mouse. I'll slide right up to the edge of your bed and kneel there. And if you wake in the middle of the night, don't be afraid. That shadow, the silhouette you see at the foot of your bed, isn't a dream. It's just me, waiting for you to invite me out of the closet once and for all. This one is titled The Night Security Shift. I took a job as a night guard at a mid-size office complex. To be honest, the pay wasn't great. But, well, the hours were quiet, so I basically just got paid to sit down and stare at nothing. So, I took it. Mostly, I walked the halls, checked holes, and made sure nobody was sleeping in the stairwells. To be honest, it was easy work. The building has 12 floors, but only the first 10 are occupied. The top 2 are empty. Old offices no one has leased for years. Still, protocol says I need to check them every shift. To be honest, I see no need. There's no one there, and no one has access there. So, but whatever. The first few nights, nothing unusual. Just dusty desk, peeling paint, the occasional rat. But one night, as I reached the 12th floor, I noticed more like someone softly humming a tune. I follow the sound down the hallway. It led me to an office with the blinds drawn. The door was locked, so that's not something out of the usual, but I still knocked, half jokingly, calling, "Hello? Anyone here?" It sent chills down my spine when the humming stopped. For some reason, that was scarier than hearing the humming going on, because now I couldn't deny that it could have been someone. The next night, I checked again. Same office, same humming. Only this time, when I pressed my ear to the door, I heard something else. The creak of a chair and the sound of breathing. I reported it to my supervisor. He frowned and said, "There's no furniture up there, and no power. Last night I tried. Call me stupid, but I tried one more time. The humming started as soon as I stepped onto the 12th floor. Echoing down the hall. But when I reached the office, the door was open. The room was indeed empty, except for the chair, rocking slowly in the corner. There was this outside the stories, but my mic suddenly encountered an electrical issue, and I don't want to hear anything about it being some sort of sign. Let's treat it as just a regular technical issue. But I don't know if you guys heard that, but it was there. We're moving on to the next story. But please give me a minute to recollect myself. The next story is titled The Window Seat. I see you've left your curtains open again. That makes me so happy. Because it means I can watch you more easily from here. You always look so peaceful when you're curled up by the window, scrolling through your phone, the glow lighting up your face. I can't see what's on your screen, so I like to imagine what you might be reading, what you might be smiling at. Sometimes I even whisper little comments to join in. But you never even hear me. Well, not yet. Do you ever notice how the glass fogs a little just at the corner? That's me breathing, leaning close enough that if you looked up, you'd see my reflection right behind yours. But you never do. You keep scrolling, keep smiling. But that's okay. It just makes me love you even more. I want to tell you something. I've been practicing being quiet and being patient, waiting for the moment you leave the window open, just a little too wide, or when you forget to latch it before bed. And when you do, I'll finally slip inside, sit right on the sill beside you, and whisper all the things I've been saving for so long. I promise I'll be gentle when I touch your hand. So gentle, you might think you're dreaming, but you won't be. was titled The Highway Passenger. I do long haul trekking, so I spend most nights on empty highways. After a while, you get used to the loneliness. Miles of road, and the occasional gas stop. Nothing else. Just you, the concrete, and the nice night sky. But a few weeks ago, I started noticing something strange. At around 2 a.m., almost every night, I'll glance at my side mirror and see someone sitting in the passenger seat. Not clearly, more like a shadow, just out of focus. At first, I brushed it off as exhaustion. You know, tricks of the light. But then I started hearing breathing. Steady and close. Sometimes, when I make a sharp turn, the shadow shifts with emotion, as if bracing itself against the dash. Last night, I decided to test it. I said out loud, "Where are you headed?" The cab went silent, but a second later, the radio crackled on. Even though it wasn't tuned to any station, a low voice came through. Just one word. Oh. The problem is, I was still hundreds of miles from the next town. And we're moving on to the last story. Finally, I can't do this anymore. I have chills all over my body. This one is titled The Answering Machine. I love listening to your voice. That's why I call you when you're not home, and wait for the machine to pick up. You always sound so polite when you say hello. So warm. I've started leaving messages for you. Just short ones. Little secrets you never asked to hear. You haven't mentioned them, so I don't think you've checked yet. That kind of makes me smile. They'll all be waiting for you when you finally press play. I wonder how you'll feel when you hear the first dozen, or the next dozen after that. Tonight, I left one more. This time, I whispered very softly, so you'll have to play it back again and again and again and again to catch every word. And by then, you'll realize it wasn't recorded over the phone. It was recorded right here in your